Okay, so we got the SX hooked up. JP's going to be pulling us home. Let's get this tow on the road for the second time. We just got back from towing the car. We just got back to the house here. We're about to get her pulled back into the garage, and then when we get back I will explain to you guys exactly what happened and what is currently wrong. We'll try and see if we can figure out what we're gonna do there. Emma is very excited to push this car. What's up people, and welcome back to the channel. So I owe you guys an explanation on what's happening here, right? So the SX is finally back home, right? And what had happened, right? Let's see if I can draw you guys a little diagram of what happened. So I was busy driving, right? And here I'll insert some clips just before the incident happened. Then, while we literally just after I recorded these clips, I went to go and overtake someone. As soon as I got past them, then I changed into fifth, and I felt that the car became quite sluggish. So I dropped the gear back down. Noticed that the car was still a little bit sluggish, wasn't sure exactly what was happening. Looked in my rearview mirror, saw steam, right? Now I'm gonna say steam because it didn't look like smoke at the time. So I was like, okay, cool, what is happening here? Then I just quickly, fortunately I was around the corner from my destination, quickly just pulled into the driveway, parked the car, switched it off, and opened the bonnet. When I got to check the bonnet, I touched the radiator, and the radiator was ice cold, right? Considering the fact my engine was up to temp. Perfectly up to temp, touched the radiator, and this thing felt like ice. It was a cold night, but that would not affect that, right? So, touch the radiator, radiator's ice cold, opened the cap on the radiator, and the radiator's empty. So, I was like, cool, water's gone somewhere, we need to figure out what's happening. So that raised my suspicion on, okay, I saw steam, not smoke, right? I thought it was steam because it wasn't smoking as I was accelerating. There was a little puff, and that was it. And I thought maybe head gasket, not sure. But in any case, I digress. So went to go and fetch some water, poured it in the radiator, started the car, revved the car, saw the steam come out the back, felt the sluggishness of the motor. So here we're going to get into the understanding of cars and what this could possibly be, right? Trying to diagnose this. We have steam going out of the exhaust, right? So this is the thought process that I have. We have steam going out of the exhaust. That can only be caused by, in my mind, one of four things, right? If steam is getting into the exhaust, that means it's getting either directly A, into the exhaust, or 2, into the cylinder, right? Or the port as the exhaust comes out, right? So in the head. So immediately we can assume the fault is either in one of four places. The exhaust is not water cooled, so therefore it cannot be in the exhaust. But the intake itself does have a water journal that goes into the intake. So one place it could be is water, either the gasket or the intake manifold itself, where a water journal is now letting water into the cylinder, right? That's number one. Number two, the head gasket could be blown in such a way that the water jacket, on the actual gasket itself, I'll put a little diagram. So on the gasket itself, that little journal between where the water journal would be and the cylinder itself, that popped, and now water is running into there. 3, there is a break in the actual block itself, a crack between the water journal and the cylinder. Don't think that's the one. And then number 4, the head itself has a crack somewhere that is allowing water to drain in. So, ways to test this. Firstly, we're going to pull off the intake manifold and try and see where we can find that. If we can see that there's possibly a break on the intake gaskets, on the intake manifold gaskets, or look inside the manifold itself. Next, we're going to go and have, if we don't see anything there, we will do a compression test on the motor and we'll try and see. Once, if we notice that we've dropped pressure, now the problem is we didn't do a pressure test before, so we don't know if we're dropping pressure. But we'll see across the cylinders, is there a drop in pressure across those cylinders? If yes, there's either a head gasket failure, a block failure, or a head failure itself. And that's when we pull the head off. Now, here's to holding fingers and hoping that it's the intake manifold, because that would be the easiest one to fix, the quickest, cheapest, everything, right? Possibly. So let's check out what is going on and we try and break down what's happening here. So with not very much investigation, we seem to have found something over here. Let me put you guys onto the cell phone camera so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So over here we have our actual intake itself, right? So we were busy disconnecting everything here. So these are the fuel lines. We haven't disconnected those yet. We've taken this off here. We started unplugging stuff there. And when we look in the top, can you guys see that over there? So that looks to be coolant mixed with something funny. And I noticed that it's on top of both of those. So what we might be looking at here is that there may be a crack somewhere there that is letting all of this seep through, right? And if that's the case, we might just be able to get away with getting a new runner on the actual intake itself. So right now we're just going to disconnect everything that's connected to the intake manifold, and we're going to start pulling everything off and trying to see if we can get to that. The intake manifold is notoriously annoying to take off on this car, so yeah, let's try and get everything off. Okay, so that's one half down. We still have to take off the intake runners, right? Which is basically where, if you had individual throttle bodies, that's where those would be. And that's where the actual water jacket or water journal runs into the cylinders, right? We're gonna pull that off and see. That smells like water. So in cylinder 3, we've got some sort of milkshake, which is in fact, in a strange way, a good sign here, right? The reason it's a good sign if we have some milkshake in this section but not in the actual oil itself, that means that, yeah, we're getting a little bit of oil, which could be blow by or recirculation, so many things, right? We're getting oil in the runners, but the important thing is that that means water is going there, and if water is going there, that means we've almost found the issue. So here's what we can see, right? Firstly, I have fuel everywhere here, which means that either the fuel rail or the injectors are leaking, because, like I said, it is literally everywhere. This is just a journal that doesn't go anywhere, just so you guys know. Our water journal was here, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If I feel inside cylinder 4, it smells like fuel. if I feel inside cylinder 1, it is very wet. And it does not smell like fuel. Now, I did notice that this little piece of the gasket itself is like flaring up and all weird and funny. And I'm wondering if it didn't just pop from here to here, right? So if that's the case, that means we have pressurized water, because as it goes into this journal here, obviously there's quite a bit of pressure in there. So what would happen is, if it popped here, all of the water pressure, or a lot of the water pressure, is now getting thrown through here straight into cylinder 1. And because it's only going into one cylinder, it would make sense as to why the car could still drive, right? Because if it's only going in one cylinder, it means it's not flooding all the rest of them. It could burn out whatever's going inside here, and then also continue firing on the remaining 3 cylinders, right? So that's pretty much dry. Let's have a look now again. That smells like fuel, so that's good. And that smells like fuel. So like I said, it's quite moist in there, and it does not smell like fuel. It smells pretty like scentless. And if that's the case, I feel like all we're really going to do is pull this gasket off, because from this point on I'm going to just say screw paper gaskets, because what the heck, actually. Okay, so we're going to throw on Rheinzoll to make our own silicone gasket on here, just so that we ensure that this entire section is sealed off. While we're here though, we are going to instead just throw on, because if we have a look down here, this is our oil filter, and this is the perfect time for us to actually run the sandwich plate. We've done enough kilometers to be able to do our first oil change, have a look at the oil, see how healthy the motor's running. We can throw the oil sandwich plate on here, put in the pressure gauge, the temperature gauge, and yeah, close that loop up. And while the actual rail is off, we're gonna go and sort out the seals on the rail, because everywhere I'm wiping here is me wiping fuel, which, as you know, you kind of want the fuel inside the engine, not on top of it, because fuel makes boom. So over here we have this is the runner I was talking about, just in case you guys didn't realize. And if you look in the top there, what I thought earlier was water, that's definitely 95, right? 95 is green, and that smells like, whoa, fuel. So we have fuel everywhere, including on ourselves now, which is wonderful. God damn it. So we probably have to go and replace the seals. It looks like it's injector 3 pouring literally everywhere. So we need to get the seals sorted out here, 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 here. We'll also do the bottom seals just while we're at it. And if you have a look here, we can show you where the water journal was, just for a little bit more clarification. So as you can see here, there's no seal there, right? Which means that if the paper gasket is not attached here at all, I feel like it didn't set properly the way it did everywhere else. And this is possibly where the water was running through from the journal straight into cylinder 1. So I think, like I said, I think we'll get away with just replacing or sealing that off properly with Rheinzoll. We'll clean up everything, get this back on once we've done everything together. I'm sorry I'm not going to do it in this episode, because like I said, I want to sort out everything all at once. So while we're there, let's try and get the oil done and everything. So that'll be in the next episode, and hopefully we can get everything seated back and put back in the engine and test it again to see if it is actually running correctly. So with that being said, I apologize for not having a video last week. It's been quite busy around here. We've been doing quite a few things, and yeah, I think there might be some cool stuff coming up soon, possibly on another channel. If you guys didn't know that the car was broken, follow me on Instagram down there, where you guys will get updates as things mostly happen, because it's easier to post there than it is to YouTube. So I post updates there regularly, so you guys never miss what's going on before everyone else, right? Yeah, we're going to be starting some new stuff soon, and I just want to get this car running so that, or mechanically sound, so that we can actually start with what's seen as the more fun stuff, doing cosmetics, interior, exterior, all of those types of things. So yeah, let's try and get everything sorted out mechanically so that she is happy, and then we can start from there. So I'd just like to thank you all once again for watching and joining us, and yeah, you know, being a part of the build. So till next time, love you much, bye.